Once we have our cloud connection and our cloud environment, we can start to deploy our Pulsar instance and our Pulsar cluster. Here I have a Terraform module. I'm using the required providers of StreamNative, and I have a file path key or key file path over to my JSON file. I'm going to be creating a resource called StreamNative Pulsar instance first. I'm going to call it test instance 1, so I'll use that as the name as well. And then my org is my StreamNative org, as well as the pool namespace. The pool name I'm going to use here is the cloud connection. So I'm going to do a Terraform init, not the cloud environment, the cloud connection. Terraform init first, and then a Terraform apply. And I'll say yes. And at this point, if it completes successfully, if you go over to the UI, you should be able to see the instance. Next, we're going to try and create the cluster with Terraform. Here I have the same Terraform required providers and the provider StreamNative with the link to, or the key file path over to my JSON file. Then the resource we're going to create this time is the StreamNative Pulsar cluster. I'm going to be calling this test cluster 1 as the resource, as well as the name and my same StreamNative org. For the instance name, I use the instance I just created in the previous step, as well as the same location. At this point, you can then configure the cluster, so it's the number of bookies, compute units, and then the configuration of the cluster itself. I'll do a Terraform init, and then a Terraform apply, and I'll say yes, and it will go ahead and start deploying the Pulsar cluster. I would give this about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll look in the UI and check the status of the cluster. In my case, for the Pulsar cluster, it took about 13 minutes. And the Terraform module won't actually return as completed or the apply complete until that cluster is finished provisioning. If I then hop on over to the UI, I can see my test instance. And then here I have my test cluster 1. If you want to get the endpoints for that cluster, you can always go to Pulsar clusters, details, and you can see your endpoints pointing to your AWS environment.